So load balancer, forward proxy, reverse proxy, API gateway, CDN, all these terminologies are network related concepts and also the terminologies which are used in all the applications, production grade applications. So knowing these concepts would help you in the system design interviews, and also it gives you edge over the other candidates. So in this quick 10 minutes video, I'm going to explain all these concepts with a simple architecture and explanation so that you would be ready for your next interview. Let's get started. So the first concept is uh, load balancer. What is load balancer? Let's say you are trying to load balancer. What you are doing is, the first thing is you are trying to let's say there are 5 users, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 5 users trying to hit an application called Amazon.com. So what happens here is, it goes to the internet service provider ISP server here. Let's say server 1, web server 1, web server 1, and also you have another server, uh, sorry, web server 2. You have another server, web server 3. Now what this load balancer will do is, here we will have one load balancer. What it will do is, no matter how many requests comes here, what it will do is, you're trying to hit this Amazon.com in the application. What will happen is, the first request will go to the first one, the second request will go to the second one, and the third one will go to the third one. So basically it balances the load that comes into your server. That's called this load balancer concept is. So the next concept is forward proxy. In the forward proxy, what happens is, so there are users like, this is Ram, this is Riddhi, and this is Venkat. Like this, users are using their laptops and they are trying to hit an this is internet, let's say internet, and we have servers here, server 1 and server 2. In the forward proxy, what happens is, you will have one server here. Before you hitting to internet, this forward proxy, what it will do is, it will mark your information, like the IP address of your system, and what it will basically do is, it won't give all the information that is required. It's a LAN, let's say this is LAN, related to schools or companies. Many of the companies, software companies or service provider companies, what they do is, they use this forward proxy company called Jetscaler. What it will do is, it will mark all the information, and it will give this mark IP address. You might have seen the IP address, meaning 192.168.1.3. This is the IP address. What this forward proxy will do is, it will mask to something which you cannot, even if you try to trace it, it won't help you much. So it will mask this information, and then it will allow you to uh, 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 access the website that you are looking for. Now you see that some of your colleagues are, even if you in future, if you go to software company, Companies restrict people using youtube.com, facebook.com or Insta, etc. because they don't want them to go through all those things because it will hamper their productivity. Now, see, basically, forward proxy is to to hide the client information, whereas in reverse proxy is for hiding the server information. Now we'll see that. Now you have system A, system B, system C. Okay, A, B, C. Now these guys are trying to hit our application. Now here what will happen is we have this reverse proxy setup here. Let's say reverse proxy, and you have server 1, server 2. All these are production, P1, P2. Now this server also will have IP address. Whatever information these guys are trying to do, this reverse proxy, it will mask this information and then provide whatever it requires. Now, see, in the forward proxy, it hides the client information. In the reverse proxy, it hides the system server information. That's what it is. And then API gateway. Sorry, API gateway. In the API gateway, what happens is, so uh, so when you try to hit the application, this API gateway, what it will do is, it will first understand what are the what is the service that you are trying to hit. If it is product related, it will directly send you that. If it is related to if you are trying to keep on hitting same page again and again without purchasing, then there is something called rate limiting. It will not allow you after some point of time. So you will say you have hit maximum number of time, you try again later. So that kind of rate limiting, those things, the gatekeeping activities would be performed by this API gateway. And the finally CDN. CDN means content delivery network. So basically what it will do is it will cache the data which is related to videos, audios, any JSS or CSS heavy related application. They what they will do is they will you know, keep their content in main server, and then they will allow many CDN servers across the world, so that when you try to hit that server, you will able to access that information quickly. Best example is flip what is that application? We saw these movies many times, right? So the application name, Netflix. So Netflix, some of the movies, see, the main server would be somewhere, but when you are trying to access when you are trying to access the film, which is hosted in US, it will be very long, right? You won't get easily access movie within second. You can't able to see it quickly. That's the reason this CDN concept helps, where they have these servers all over the world, and then you can when you try to hit when you try to open particular cinema, it will go to the nearest CDN server, and then it will fetch that. That's what generally. Now let's quickly look into the slides that I have prepared for this session. So let me take my pen. So we have discussed about the load balancer, reverse proxy, forward proxy, API gateway, and CDN. So, as we discussed, that forward proxy hides the client information and reverse proxy hides the server that we have seen. And load balancer spreads the traffic evenly. Let's say there are 100 people trying to, 100 people trying to access your application, and there are 5 servers. What it will do is it will equally distribute all the servers, all the users into, let's say, 10 users to this one, 10 users to another server, let's say server 2 and server 3, like this, it equally distributed. That's what load balancer is. Next, API gateway, the smart front door. So it will allow whom to go inside, like where to go, what to do, all those information, rate limiting, all those things would be authentication, who should be having what access, that kind of information would be done through this API gateway. And then finally, CDN, content delivery network, cache close to the user. So as we discussed, there is a movie in the main server that sits in US and you are trying to access from India, it will very long, so it will take a time to view that movie. For that reason, what they do is they have this content delivery network like Akamai, Cloudflare. There are many providers which provides that CDN services, and then you can get that quickly. Let's move on to the next slide. Forward proxy, we have seen this one. So we have seen that here is client, that is you and me, who is trying to access the website which is on internet. Now what happens here is the forward proxy hide the client information so that the website don't understand who is trying to access it because of it is in forward proxy. So if you see all the software companies uses, and also you might have used the VPN services to download a certain movie impersonating that you belong to some other country. In India, some movies are banned, but if you want to see that movie, what you do is you install a VPN, change your country, and then it will show as you belong to some other country, and you can able to download the movie. And then private tools, some of the private tools it won't work. So in that scenario, it will help. Now we already discussed that software companies want to uh, block some of the sites to, they don't want to their employees to use that during the office hours. In that case also it will help. And also hide identity. So when you are masking your IP address, there is impossible that other person can trace you by tracking the marked IP address. So let's move on to the forward reverse proxy now, right? So here is the reverse proxy. We already know this one, but yeah, let's quickly walk you through these points. So now we have client. Now this is the internet. Sorry, this is the application side, and here is the internet you have. And when you are accessing through internet, now in your server you have another layer called a reverse proxy. So when you try to hit this reverse proxy, what it will do is it hides in the server. So server 1, server 2, server 3. So the common job is SSL termination, caching, compression, security, everything would be provided using this. So, what is this reverse proxy? NGINX, commonly used by across all the web application. It's used this technology called reverse proxy. Now let's move on to another one. So here you see forward proxy protects the client, reverse proxy protects the server. Same idea but opposite sides. Now let's move on to the another one. So this is the load balancer concept. So let's say there are 10 clients, meaning 10 people trying to access the application. Now, here is the application part. All these are web servers, web server, web server, web server. Now here, what this load balancer will do is, as if there is 10 people trying to access the application. Now, 3 people will go to this server, 3 people will go to this server, and 3 people will go to the third server. And now, once that is done, what system will do is, uh, like it will accommodate all the users, but the internally what happens is the first thing is round robin. So first 3 users for this one, second 3 users for this one, like this it will happen. And there is another one called least connection, meaning let's say the server 1 is having first 5 users went to this one, and the second 3 users went to second server. Now remaining people are 2 people. Now let's say another 5 people are trying to access your say application, then what it will do is it immediately see the number 2 here and immediately it sends all the remaining people 5 people to here. Now it is 7. Now next time again 2 more people trying to access your application. In that scenario, it will send that traffic to this server. That's how this load balancer concept works. Now we have seen these algorithms, and then finally it helps in dead servers automatically. So if there is any dead server, what it will do is it immediately removes that server, and then it will spin up new server, and it will run again. So that's how it works. Let's move on to the another one. It's basically for distributing the load and all. Now API gateway, this one, let's look at what exactly this is. Now see, uh, this is the application. Now you are in the application side. So people are trying to hit some service, and now what it will do is it will authorize whom you are trying to authenticate. First thing is authentication, whether who are you? Are you really an internal employee or outsider who is trying to snoop into the application? That authentication, authorization first it will do, and then authentication. So once it logs in, it will see if you are keep on trying to access the same thing, then it will cut you down, saying that you have to wait. You are trying so many times, so you have to wait. Try after some time, and then routing, logging, like who is trying this logging information, who is trying to access at what time, that kind of information also, and also transform and then caching, like all the information it will store in this cache. So API gateway, it's a gatekeeper. What it will do is who should go to which service. Are you trying to access user service? Are you trying to use the order service? Are you using the payment service in the application? So for all the this API gateway primarily used for the microservices architecture applications. And then we also know JWT authentication, throttling, request response shaping, all that information would be handled through this one. Now let's move on to another one. Finally, CDN, Content Delivery Network. Here you see this is the main server where you keep that example we took Netflix, right? There are lakhs of movies in it. Let's say, for example, let's take 10 movies are there. And now what it will do is in the main server, it will keep all the 10. It will cache that 10 movies related information in Asia Pacific region, Europe region, and US region, right? Now, a user in India trying to watch a movie related to any movie, let's say triple R movie, and what it will do is it immediately goes to this nearest edge location, and it try to access that user is trying to access this triple R movie. Let's play it. And then same goes with the other countries as well, right? Now, so yeah, see, some of the providers see not only videos, it goes for images, JavaScript, CSS, any static files. So we use that this CDN concept. The providers is Cloudflare, Akamai, CloudFront. Every edge node is basically a mini proxy sitting near to the user. And then finally, let's move on. And here is slide by slide comparison that we can look into. So forward proxy always on the client side, and it hide and filters the outgoing request, right? And reverse proxy is at server side, hides the backend. You can't able to see which language used to write the application, and then any termination of SSL cache, everything would be done with the reverse proxy server. And then load balancer, the cluster of servers. There would be hundreds of servers to serve the users across the world. Spread the traffic evenly. And then API gateway, that is for microservices. routing, authorization, authentication, rate limiting related to APIs, that thing would be handled by this API gateway. And finally, CDN, static content. If you want to serve that globally, then CDN is the only option, and then serve the content near to the user. So they are not manually exclusive. Real system stack, all the five together. Every application, if it is used all these concepts, then that's called well made application. Finally, if you see, everything is user, CDN, and then API gateway, load balancer, this reverse proxy at server side, everything would be done here. See, client side versus server side is the first split. First thing is you have to split what is at client side, what is at server side. This is the first split you have to do. And then second thing is load distributes, gateway governs, CDN speeds up. Now you have to set up another thing called load balancer, and then you have to set up this CDN related thing. And finally, these things also you can do. See, so that's it. So if you have any question, you can ask in the comment section. Please, if you gain any knowledge, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.